that he has, and we can move forward. But just to see him out there is refreshing for everybody. We all know what happened last year, and for him to be on the mound, I think that's a step towards the right direction.
Alex, do you have any update on Casas?
Actually, I think he got here last night. Excuse me. He got here last night. They're gonna actually meet today, so we'll have more either probably after the game or probably tomorrow.
Alex, ¿alguna información de Franchi Cordero?
Frankie's here. Frankie está aquí. Ya ahora mismo está viendo a los doctores y todo eso. Y si todo sale bien, va a poder tomar parte del trabajo de nosotros hoy.
Primera salida de Eduardo Rodríguez después de un año prácticamente fuera de béisbol. ¿Qué esperas tú de él?
De verdad que hoy no es un día de resultados. Hoy es un día de poder sentirnos bien de que Eduardo está compitiendo. Después de haber pasado lo que pasó el año pasado y que él pueda trabajar en un terreno de grandes ligas, lo hace sumamente especial. Así que es un día especial para todos nosotros.
Any update from Lana's MRI?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Hey, Alex, what did you say about Frenchie?
He's here. Actually, he's going through the whole thing with the doctors, kind of like the physical part of it. And if everything goes well, he should be able to work out with the team later today.
Also wanted to ask you about, you've been saying using the word versatility a lot so far in this spring training. Just kind of where that stacks up in your mind. You know, we hear, possibility of Danny Santana as well, but just kind of having all these guys that have the ability to play several positions. How important do you think that is for you and the 2021 Red Sox?
It is very important, and it's going to help us roster wise. We have a pitching staff that we have to protect some people, and we got a chance to go with 12 position players and 14 pitchers, which is very important. And I know we have a lot of off days early on, but there's going to be a stretch there that we play. I think it's 13 games in a row in April, and having that flexibility is going to help us in that end, and that's important. It's not that you have guys that they just, they say that they play positions, and they just stand there. We actually have guys that can play positions, and Enrique can play short, second, the three outfields. Marwin, he can play all over the infield, left and right, and it helps us, and. He's going to get everybody at bats. Everybody's going to be sharp. You can give guys off, and you don't feel like you are actually downgrading the lineup. So that's very important for us. And, these guys, they've been in the middle of it the last few years. Enrique just won a World Series. Marwin, he do feel great about how we're going to attack the opposition on a daily basis. No, we just got to get better, in spring training and be ready for April 1st, and then – the madness starts, I guess.
Alex, can you talk about Marwin? He will come in to talk today after he appears. What kind of versatility will he add to the team?
Offensively and defensively, he's going to help us. The fact that he's a switch hitter that can play all over the place we were talking about him from the get-go. And there's a guy that offensively, right-handed, he can pull the ball, and we saw it in 18 in the playoffs, and can do damage from that side. And from the left side, when he's laying off that breaking ball, he becomes a good hitter, and happy that he's here. We have a great relationship. He's a guy that, forget 17, we were in touch in 18, 19, the whole offseason. I care about him. I always tell Marwin that his biggest strength is his biggest weakness. He fights every pitch, which is awesome. But when you play against him, it's like come on, man, save it, like from afar. But when you are in his team, you appreciate that. And he's matured a lot. He's been through a lot, obviously, like all of us, the last few years. But I think he's done an amazing job staying in the moment, moving forward. And I'm glad that he's here with us in the Red Sox.
Alex, with Eduardo, given what he went through last year, does he have more frequent checkups on his heart, or is that something that's an ongoing process?
No, I mean our staff is always hands on. That's something that we've been getting that feedback from guys for the first time in the organization, from Adam, Garrett, Matt. That they appreciate how the one-on-one interaction is in our training room, and it's not different. We ask them to be honest, but we have our checkpoints, and we're checking on everybody. So it's not that different. Obviously, we know that he hasn't pitched since at the big league level since the last day of the season, 2019. But nothing really changes.
Given the myocarditis and everything, there's nothing about what he's doing that would be different otherwise. I mean, he's fully doing everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's actually covering first base in PFPs, which is awesome.
Thank you.
Is he going 2 or 3 today?
So what? I think,
Going 2 or 3.
man, you know what? When I come here, I need the pitching schedule. I think it's 2, maybe 3. Chris, sorry about that one, but I'm not 100% sure. I got Kevin here looking for it. 3 innings. He's going 3 innings. Wow, that's a first.
Alex, you've talked about the idea of considering Verdugo and Devers back-to-back. Are you considering that whether to hit Devers third, or are you thinking about moving Verdugo down to 5?
No. Alex is going to hit in the first third of the lineup. He'll hit up there. Like I've been saying, I want, if you're going to break it down, we'll have the athletes. Well, top 2 athletes. All depends. But we'll have Alex. The way I see it, Alex is either going to lead off or hit second. Let's leave it at that. I don't want to crush people saying that they're not athletic. Yeah.
Alex, speaking of Verdugo, you've talked about his kind of interesting way to prepare for the season where he wants to stay in the cage. Just like, how unique is that for you as a manager to have a player, with that specific kind of preparation?
I mean, John, with us, hitting on the field is optional from day one. Like we don't. It's becoming more and more obvious that, and I love it for the fans, but BP on the field is actually for the fans, like the home runs and all that, and they enjoy that. I think they get more hitting in the cage. You got everything there. You got the cameras, and you got the other stuff that they use to measure their swings. So I don't mind that. One thing for sure, I like players to be on the field to do the defensive side of it, right? Just go shag and see the flight of the ball and all that. But he's an interesting person, to say the least. His baseball IQ is way up there. I think he understands his body, and we talk about it in the off season. We've been talking about it the whole time, and if that's what gets him locked in, so be it. That's the way we see it.
Alex, you haven't played center today. Verdugo, are you going to move him? You still plan on moving him around throughout the spring, or are you going to settle with him on one spot? How do you see that work?
No, I believe he's going to play center and right in spring training. Right now, Enrique's playing more shortstop because Xander is not playing, so he can get those repetitions there. I think we got Marwin at first today. It's a good time for him. This weekend, Enrique, Marwin, Rafi, Renfro, JD, I think they're playing 3 games in a row. So we just make sure we'll move it around. But, when Xander comes back, then we'll get – actually, Kike is going to play second tomorrow. But, when Xander comes back, then we'll see him in the outfield more often.
Alex,
I was you were talking about Xander. Is he throwing yet? Alex?
Yeah, he threw yesterday. He's throwing again today. He feels good. He feels good. Another one about Xander, when he started talking soccer, that's a good sign with him too. He's getting locked in.
Alex, you talked yesterday about the value you place in playing right, particularly in Fenway with its a lot of ground to cover and strange angles. Is there? Are you thinking at all about having Verdugo in right at home and center on the road? Do you ever do like a home road split like that, or is that too much for a player?
I think it's hard for a player. I don't think it's too much for him. We just got to see how we do it. We have another one that is a good defender, and Hunter. He's a good defender. He's done an amazing job the last 3 years, and you see him in spring training, the way he moves. He can handle right field too at Fenway. So, one thing for sure, we're not gonna have a set lineup, and we're gonna have moving parts the whole season. And like I said before, the good thing is that these guys defensively, whatever you put them, they're average or above average. So that's gonna make it easier for us to do this. But we also have to take care of their bodies, and Alex, you saw what happened last year. Well, early in spring where he was. So we'll take care of him, and we'll see what he can do and where he cannot do.
Alex, does there come a point sometimes where I guess you say you're gonna have everybody's gonna be moving the whole season, where too much versatility can sort of have its drawbacks?
They haven't. I mean, it hasn't happened throughout their careers. They've been solid doing that, Enrique and Marwin. So I don't think it's going to change. The way I see one of them, Marwin, he can protect, Bobby at first, and the second baseman, and give Sanders off days, and Rafi, an off day against a tough lefty. So that's good. He can play left field. He can play right. I think the platoon thing is nothing new for us. For how great we were in 18, we platoon at third, we platoon at second, we platoon at first, and we platoon behind the plate. So it's nothing new for us. The only difference is that we got guys that they're going to be moving all over the place. But so far throughout their career, they've done it, and there's a reason people consider them two of the best utility guys in the big leagues.
Yesterday, you mentioned that it would be a challenge, sort of, that you're up for to managing this roster. What's sort of the challenge that comes with that you're speaking about?
Just lineup configuration and all that. But how they're gonna react. Their bodies to everything that goes on. But are we gonna run? Are we gonna not run? That's the thing. There's certain days that we're going to be very, very athletic, and there's other days that we're going to be hitting the ball out of the ballpark. So I think that's what I meant. As a manager, we have to as a coaching staff, we have to decide what we're going to do on a daily basis. And we like action, but at the same time, sometimes the personnel is not going to let us do that. So I think it's more that than anything else.
Alex, how much of a focus in the offseason acquiring, particularly Kike and Hunter, was improving defensively? And was that behind a lot of the moves that were made, particularly with your focus?
Chaim, he talks about defense. He does. And you saw what happened in 19, and you saw what happened last year. We took a step back defensively. I do believe in 18, as far as defensive efficiency, we were top 5, if I'm not mistaken, and then we took a step back in 19, and last year wasn't great. So, you can slump offensively. Defensively, if they're making contact, you have to make plays, and anything that stays within, in the ballpark, you have to, catch ground balls, fly balls, and that's what we're trying to accomplish. I think we should be okay. We're gonna have a good defensive team. We're good?
Hey, Alex.
Oh, sorry.
My question relates to the cash money coach of the day chain. What are those morning conversations like when you guys nominate a different coach each day?
Well, the way it works, well, they got the chain, but I gave the MVP, which I think is more important. Like my MVP is still Will. I don't know how people are getting the chain passed around. But he brought the idea up. Chad actually wrote about it. It was a good one. And he's like, Alex, I got this idea. Like I told Chad, I come from the University of Miami. We're not afraid to show our whatever swag. Although I don't know, we're not that good to be passing along the turnover chain. But they sit there, they talk about it. It's praising your teammates, which is very important. Heim from day one, something he always talks about is be a good teammate, and that's what we're doing. And it's not only coaches. Yesterday it was Tommy. Today it's actually Reeks. I think it's going overboard now. It's front office people. I think some of the coaches feel like if they give the chain to one of the front office people, they're gonna get an extension. So I don't know, but it's just praising your teammate, man. And we are family here. We're in day 15, day 16. We've been away from the family 24 days already, and to be able to have that kind of relationship and like each other and love each other, it makes it a lot easier for us to come here and contribute, and help the players out. That's the way, that's the purpose of it, and I think it's helping us a lot as far as getting closer and doing a good job with that.
What are the chances it carries into the regular season?
Well, not being selfish, but hopefully I can get the chain every day. That means we won. I did a good job as a manager, but we'll come up with something else. We did the same thing with players in 19. We had something different. We like talking about it. It's something about the 162 games and the quote unquote grind that people get caught up too much with it. We try to make it fun and talking about situations, talking about coaches, talking about front office people. If that makes it fun and get us closer, so be it.
Yeah, Alex, a follow-up on what you were saying about moving players all around the field over the course of the season. I assume a lot of that is for offensive matchups, but how much is defense? Not every player is created the same defensively. So does your pitcher on the mound in the opposition play into that? A little bit in certain situations. We know we have one of the best defenders at second base, if not the best defender at second base in our roster. So depending on who's on the mound, if ground balls are going to be in the plus side, having Enrique playing second base is going to benefit us. So we'll use that also for our decision-making process. Yes. Okay, anything else, guys? We're good? Thank you.